It's time for the Podketeer Podcast.
Good morning, Christopher Robin.
Oh, good morning, Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, well, glad to meet you. Name's Tigger. T-I-double-G-R. That spells Tigger.
Now, isn't this a clever disguise?
It's time for the Podketeer Podcast with your hosts, Mark Tanner and Melody Clark.
This could be about anything. And if you're like me, you'll wait and see. For I've got curiosity.
It's time.
Oops. I clicked the wrong button. How is everybody this morning? I hope you're all at Disneyland and you can't see this till you get home, or you're watching it on your phone. I am not at Disneyland, although it looks like I am. I hope, like I say, I hope everybody had a great day yesterday. It was lots of fun meeting everybody. Well, I didn't meet everybody. All 2,000 of you, or almost 2,000, weren't there, but lots of the people I have met before were there. And I did meet one lady that I had not met before. And that was good. She was from Hawaii, which is pretty cool to have a group member that's not even in the continental United States. How do you like that? Well, one thing you may have noticed, and that's that Melody is not here. Melody had something come up and she couldn't do the podcast. So she will, of course, be back next Saturday. So hopefully that is. And I'll just wing it here for today. You know, the reason I decided to, let me scoot back a little bit. The reason I decided to, let me adjust a little. There we go. The reason I decided to do it this way is it looks a lot more professional than doing it on the iPhone at the park. I mean, I thought it would be, you know, kind of neat for everybody to see me actually at the park. But I've got plenty of photos and I post plenty of video and things from the park. And I've decided I'm going to start going to the park twice a week instead of once a week. Once is just not enough. I need to go another time. So I think I'm going to go Friday and Saturday. So we'll see how that works out. Like I said, it was great yesterday. I got to show you some. I got my ice cream bucket. Now, unfortunately, on the green screen, some of these colors may look like they're invisible. So this is what it looks like. And it's got Donald Duck on one side and Goofy on the other side and Mickey driving. And let's see who's on it in the back. Chip and Dale. Little tiny Chip and Dale sticking up out of the sack. This ice cream cone in the front is actually a spoon. And the top opens up like this, and you put in the ice cream. So it is pretty well made for, you know, $29 or $31 if you bought it at Clarabelle. I haven't looked into why. Here, let me sit this down here for a second. I haven't looked into why the ice cream buckets cost more at Clarabelle. Maybe they add something to it, or I don't know. But it is approximately $2 more at Clarabelle's than it is at Gibson Girl. So if you're working on a budget, buy it at Gibson Girl. It's cheaper. Like I said, don't know why, but it is. Let's see here. Oh, apparently this morning they had the Chalk Walk. And Guy and Gigi, Lanson, I think is their name, they were nice enough to post these in the group. Now that's a crowd. That looks like the 50th anniversary crowd, which was pretty hairy. But get on the group and you'll find they load a bunch of pictures and videos of them walking down Main Street when it was just, the sun was just coming up. So this is cool. So make sure you check that out. And I have a problem. I bought some shirts from Printable. Now, let me explain Printable. Printable is a clearinghouse for shirts. They sell shirts from all sorts of different vendors. The problem they have is because the shirts are not made by the same people. You may buy a extra large from this shirt and it fits you just perfect. And you buy an extra large of a different shirt and you drown in it. So that's what happened to me. This particular shirt, you see it's got Mickey's faces all over it. It's really a cool shirt, but it is way too big for me. So I'm wearing it for the podcast, but it's really not something that I'd want to wear. Now let me show you this shirt. I wore this shirt yesterday, and it is a beautiful shirt. I love the shirt. The colors and the images and everything are real good. The one of Donald is a little off, but otherwise it's great. But it is also, it's just a couple of sizes too big for me. And I'm not a small person, so this is really a big shirt. To fit into this, you would need to be about 6'5" and a little chunky. So if you are a big guy or a big girl and tall, this shirt would probably fit you just fine. So if you are interested in it, I paid $30 for it. I wore it one time. I will wash it and pack it, bag it up as best I can. I'm not a shirt folder, so I'll do my best. And I'll let you have it for $20. Or you can trade me another Disney shirt. If you've got a Disney shirt you think will fit me that doesn't fit you, I'll be happy to trade you. So keep that in mind. It really is a nice shirt. It's a nice looking shirt. I think that's the only picture of it. Yeah, that's the only picture of it I've got set up here. This Streamyard, I'm sorry I was a little late getting on board here this morning. Streamyard, which is the company we use to do our podcast, they need to work on it a little bit. Because, like, to upload an image, it will not take anything but PDF files. So if you want to put images up there like this particular one here for people to see, you have to convert them to PDF files, which I don't really have any trouble doing, but it takes time to do it. And the website that I use to convert them you will only allow you to download them either as a package deal, in which case you can't really tell what picture is going to come up next, which doesn't work out when you're trying to do a podcast, or download them one at a time, which is time consuming. And Streamyard will not allow you to, first of all, they will only allow you to put 10 pictures up to show, which is limiting if you have a bunch of things to talk about. And they will only allow you to upload one at a time, which is also kind of a pain in the neck and time consuming. So those are the main reasons why I was a little late getting out here this morning. Went to IHOP this morning. I was supposed to go with my granddaughter and grandson, but my granddaughter got sunburned yesterday at Legoland, and she did not want to go out in public with a sunburned face. She's a cutie. She's 8 years old, and she's really worried about what people think of her appearance, and that's fine. So she slept in. So my grandson went with me, and we had a good time. A good breakfast. I usually get the senior special, which, because I'm trying to limit my intake of food. Now, yesterday, I gotta tell you, my doctor would have had a heart attack. I ate 2 ice cream sundaes. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm cheap, and I didn't want to just give Disney the money. So I wanted my ice cream with my ice cream buckets. So I got the sundae. It's they call it a chocolate sundae. It's a very large, they've got a big scooper back there. And it was a large scoop of vanilla ice cream with a little bit of chocolate syrup, some whipped cream, and 2 chocolate chip cookies sticking out of the scoop to look like Mickey ears. And it was done well. And that was, and I got one of those for each one of my ice cream buckets. So I ate both of them. I put an offer on the group to give you one of them, but nobody showed up to take me up on it, unfortunately. or you could have had some free ice cream. See, you missed out. So, like I say, I ate both of those. And I really didn't feel too good yesterday, because I'm not used to, since May 2nd, when I had my heart issue, I have been very careful about what I eat. So I splurged yesterday. But I didn't do my blood sugar for a few hours because I knew it was going to be horrendous. But by 7 o'clock at night, I ate that about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, about 1:30. And by 7 o'clock, it was back down to normal. So at least my body is processing the sugar, which is a good sign. That's what you want to watch with all the medicines and everything, that they're working correctly and processing your sugar so it doesn't stay too high there. So I was pleased with that. So, yesterday I went over to Galaxy's Edge, and they're doing some construction over there that has the walkway that goes by Rise of the Resistance. It's closed. The cast member told me the ride was closed, but as it turned, and I was going to ride it, but it turns out the ride was not closed, just the walkway. So I missed out on riding my favorite ride. That is my favorite ride at Disneyland. Anybody that has ridden it that likes Star Wars, and I'm a big Star Wars fan, That's a hell of a ride, I gotta say. That's amazing. The people have put that thing together. But anyway, what I was going to tell you about. So when I left Galaxy's Edge, I had to go back the way I came in. And I don't usually go that way. And I noticed that there was a trail going off to the right up a steep hill. So I looked, and there was this horse. Not a real horse. It's a Disney horse. And I'll show you a picture of it here. There was this horse. And it looks an awful lot like the horse, at least in my memory. I haven't been able to find a picture of it. The one that used to be right next to the Rivers of America and had the Native American chief sitting on the horse with his hand, let's see if I can, with his hand up like that as a greeting. And it just looks like, in my mind, it looks like that horse. That painting on the side of him looks like something that would have been done by the Native Americans. So I don't know if it is that horse or if it's just another one that they've got laying around somewhere. But the only place they would have had horses would have been in that area, because they didn't have any cowboys, audio animatronic or otherwise, on horseback anywhere in Frontierland that I recall. So I think the only horses they had were the ones that were in that area being ridden and taken care of by the Native Americans. So if you have a better memory than I, or a picture of it, let me know. I'd be curious. Just, curiosity as to whether that is the same horse or not. So, I'm really particular. I thought I had the picture, but I didn't get the picture, about maintenance at Disneyland. Now, I don't want to sound like a jerk, I just want Disneyland to always be there and always be as pristine and nice and as it is now. I want it to always be like that. And the only way that it will always be like that is if it's taken care of and maintained. So when I go there and I see maintenance not being kept up like it ought to be, it just bothers me. I don't know if the rest of you feel the same way I do, but it bothers me to see that. And there is a lot of issues when it comes to maintenance there at the park. Railings on the queues of rides that are all missing paint. Broken. There's a hinge on one of the bathroom doors that has been broken for years. And the door doesn't close right. It doesn't close all the way. And it's been like that for a long time. So, and it's missing, where you open and close the door, the paint is all worn off down to the wood. So it's been neglected for a very long time, and that bothers me. I don't want that to be the theme of this show, so I'm not going to bring it up all the time. I'm going to focus on how much fun it is to be there, because it is fun for me. I love being there, but I want it to stay that way. I want it to always be something that I love to see and do, and I'm sure you guys feel the same way. Otherwise, you wouldn't be there all the time. So I think we're the same. I mean, there's some great people. There was a group of people out there yesterday that was from Hawaii. 3 generations of their family were out there. I met them in Gibson Girl, and she was the great grandmother, and she introduced me to her great grandkid. It was little tyke, and it was great seeing something like that. You'd love to see that, and for it to be something that family goes to do, because there aren't really a whole lot of things that families can go do together anymore, like Disneyland is. There's not really a lot. I mean, you got Universal Studios, but, once a year of Universal Studios does me just fine. And I've never been to Legoland. My family went there yesterday, but I went to Disneyland. So, but they all had fun. But like my daughter said, that she could go there. That's like a one and done for her. She doesn't really want to go back. And I can't imagine ever feeling that way about Disneyland, going one time and not wanting to go back. I mean, I want to be there all the time. Once a week isn't enough for me. So, I mean, you guys know, you've seen my posts out there. I'm camera happy when it comes to Disneyland. I like, I hope you don't get tired of me taking pictures. After a while, I'm going to have a picture of everything. So, but that is good, because there's a lot of things that used to be at the park that we don't have to look at anymore, and sometimes it's hard to find a photo of them, because people just, it's there, it'll always be there, and so they didn't take pictures. And that was back before people had a camera in their pocket all the time, and back before you could upload it where everybody had a copy of the picture you took. So, it's something to think about. That hang on to the pictures that you got. If you got a picture of something, and when I hear they're going to close something, I go and take pictures. Like I did that with where they put the Starbucks on Main Street. I went in there and I took hundreds of pictures inside that. So if you ever want a picture of that place, or want to know what that looked like before Starbucks went in there, I've got photos of it. And like I say, if I hear something's going to change, a lot of times they change it, and I didn't know they were going to do it, and because I don't like comb through the websites and everything looking for information. I guess I should do that now that I've got the group and it's getting so big. I mean, but I'll try. If you guys hear about something that's going to close, let me know, and I'll concentrate on taking photos of it next time I go. So we've all got those. So we've got those. So, when our kid says, what did the Haunted Mansion look like before they tore it down? And, let's hope that never happens, but you never know with Disney. They may decide to build a ride based on Soul and decide to tear down the Haunted Mansion. It could happen. A lot of their decisions, I don't know, I don't understand. That movie, what was it? About Baymax. I don't even remember the name of the film. But Big Hero 6, I think that was the name of it. That movie was not popular enough to base almost a whole land on it. I don't quite understand them doing that, because there were a lot of other movies that, the Cars Land. I completely agree with Cars Land. That was a great group of films. They did a wonderful job of Cars Land. I mean, when you watch the first movie, And then you go to Cars Lane, it looks just like they drug it out of the movie. I mean, they did a wonderful job of recreating Radiator Springs. It looks just like the movie. And it captures that time period, because I remember that time period. It captures that time period. I went to a lot of those stops along the road, Stuckey's and Bob Evans and Roy Rogers. They had all these restaurants along the way, and a lot of them had things like that Cozy Cone. That was based not upon Cozy Cones, but it was based upon teepees. It was I think the hotel was called the Wigwam, something like that. I had some photos I think I put on the group a while back, and that's what that is based upon, is that Wigwam hotel, because it looks kind of like a cone. It's shaped like a cone, so that's what they based it upon. But the Big Hero 6, and I got a bone to pick with those balloons, those Baymax balloons. They're really not very pleasant to look at. You see one of those people, although I've noticed that I'm not seeing those as often. Maybe I'm not the only one that doesn't think they're very pretty. And they've kind of brought back the Mickey Mouse balloons that look like the old ones, with the clear balloon around the outside and the Mickey-shaped balloon on the inside. That's kind of cool. I noticed, if you're thinking a couple months down the road about Halloween, in at Galaxy's Edge, they've got Princess Leia and Darth Vader Halloween costumes, and they're really cool looking. They're really nice looking. Yeah, if you want to get some good Halloween costumes, watch Costco, because round about the beginning of September they put out hundreds of these really nice costumes, but they don't replenish them. Once those are gone, they're gone. So if you want to get your kid one, go early and get it. We used to go to this place called the Halloween Club and get stuff. I don't really know if the Halloween Club even exists anymore. I haven't been there in a long time. Hey, I'll give you a little group member info here. I was at one time, before I lost my wife, I was planning on really stepping up and doing the house for Halloween and Christmas, and I bought 3 projectors, like the ones that you project movies up there, you hook up to a computer, and I bought a bunch of that Atmos, I don't know if you've seen it, Atmos, ATMOS, FX, things of singing pumpkins and ghosts and so forth. And I was going to do the house up and do projection mapping. Well, I'm just not, with things that happened and everything, I'm just not in the mood to go to that much work. So if anybody's interested in that stuff, message me. We'll talk and work something out. So anyway, that's the last of my advertising. Oh, that's one thing I wanted to talk to you guys about too. I'm sure many of you have noticed that I created a Disneyland Magic Keyholder podcast page. Now, the reason I did that is Facebook, a few months ago, prohibited live streaming to groups. And that was very puzzling. A lot of people didn't understand why they did that. Now, they didn't make it completely impossible, but they made it technologically difficult. And I don't know how to do it. I'd have to hire somebody to do it, and I'm just not going to do that. So they made it so that you could create a page, but then they put the stipulations in that the page had to be at least 60 days old, and the page had to have over 100. Well, it had to have 100, but if you drop to 99, you can't stream. So you need to get over 100 followers. Now, I put several requests on there for the group members to follow my podcast page, because then after 60 days, we could start streaming the podcast live to there, and then you guys could just go pop over there and you can watch the podcast live. Instead, what I'm doing now is I'm streaming it live to YouTube, and then as soon as I'm done and YouTube releases it, which is just a few minutes after you're done, and then I put a link to the YouTube viewing of the podcast on the group, so you guys can watch the podcast if you want to. But I'd like to do it live to the page. So if you guys could please go to the Disneyland Magic Keyholder podcast page. It's got a picture of me, so you can tell it's mine. And then you could, if you could, please, if you want to like it, that's fine. But the problem is that more than half of the people that I asked to follow it liked it and didn't follow it. So please follow it. Once we get over 100, I won't be talking to you anymore about doing this. But if you could do that, I would appreciate it. And then we can get hopping with having the podcast streaming live. So you can watch it as it occurs. Of course, you're going to see it just an hour after it occurs, because I'm gonna have this in the group just probably by 1:30, because I didn't get this live until 12:15. It'll be delayed a little bit because of that. So my apologies. I'm terribly sorry that I was delayed in doing that. But there isn't really going to be a whole lot of things changed at Disneyland in that 15 minutes, I hope. So let's see what else. Oh, I don't know if you noticed. Well, if you've been there, you noticed at the security tables now, they have put the plexiglass screen back up. Now, it isn't a disease problem as it was during COVID, but it is a security problem, because apparently, here's what I read. I read that somebody had tried to bring in vaping supplies. If you don't know what that is, it's a method of smoking. So he tried to sneak it in his pocket, get his bag before he went through security, and slip it back into his bag after it had been checked by security. So they're trying to prevent that from happening. So now you don't get your bag till you've gone through the metal detector. Then he hands you your bag. So I mean, I can understand that would be a way somebody could do something unfortunate. I really don't think that Disneyland has staved off a big attack with their security, but what the heck? If they want to make sure we're absolutely safe, that's fine. But they've still had fistfights in the park, and no amount of security is going to stop a fistfight. But at least they're not shooting each other, so thank goodness for that. I would not want to see that. Oh, and to those of you who saw my post about the little kitten that we had hanging around our house, the kitten found a home. One of our neighbors had a visitor at their house, and they saw the kitten and decided to take the kitten home to be their cat. So the little kitten is not out there in danger anymore. It is now laying in front of the fireplace or whatever they happen to have. So the kitten has a home. So no more worries about the kitten. I was concerned. I didn't like leaving the cat outside, but my whole family's allergic to cats, and I mean really allergic. Just from the little bit you saw rubbing against the legs was enough to throw us all into a anaphylactic shock. Practically, we're all sneezing. So we couldn't bring the cat into the house. So we had a dog once, but the dogs, for some reason, the dog hair didn't bother us, but the cat hair, much different. But like I say, the cat has a home. My granddaughter named it, but I forget what she named it, but I'm sure they're naming it something else. And but it was a real cute cat. White, and it had like a light brown streak on its back, and it had green eyes. It was a real cute cat. Let's see. Okay, I told you about the path being closed. What I don't understand is Disney used to do all of their construction work during the winter. And because they didn't have as many people at the park during the winter, except at Christmas. But I guess, like with the Haunted Mansion, they want to have that open during the Oogie Boogie thing that they do there. Although, somebody mentioned this, Oogie Boogie's not at Disneyland, it's at California Adventure. So why do they care? So I don't know whether that's even a factor. We used to go to the Mickey's Halloween party when it was in Disneyland. We went to the first 4 of them that they had, and we used to do all sorts of that stuff. But it is really expensive. It's $150 to $190, almost $200. It was like $194, $195 for, you go at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and leave at midnight. So, you're only in there 5 hours for almost $200. And I'll tell you, the candy is nothing to speak of. It's really not. It's not like first quality candy. Like when the very first year they did Mickey's Halloween party, they had Godiva chocolate. So they had like really good stuff. Bags of M&Ms and things like that. It wasn't just little piddly candy like from the 99-cent store. Rest in peace. But things change. So like I say, Melody had something to do. My nephew had a stroke, and she's been dealing with that because his sister lives with my sister, and my niece Laura lives with my sister out in Lawndale, or not Lawndale, Palmdale. I was thinking of Donna Jean, she lives in Lawndale. I was going to tell you about that. In fact, I'll bring that up here. Let's see, where's she at? Okay, I apologize, Donna Jean. I don't remember your husband's name. I know you told me, and I sent you a message earlier, and I haven't seen a reply back as to what his name is, and I'm terribly sorry. I'm horrible with names. Such a nice fellow, and he and I have a lot in common. We both worked at Northrop, and we both had Donna Jean and her husband and me. We all lived in Lawndale, which is what I was thinking of when I said Lawndale for my sister. Lawndale's over by Hawthorne, not too far from where the Rams Stadium is there on Prairie. And like I said, during that time period, we both worked at Northrop. I didn't know him. I mean, there were thousands of people working at Northrop back then. But it was interesting that we had that in common. And Donna Jean and her husband are the nicest people, and they are Disney. They are more Disney than I am, and they post some great photos. They have one of the photos. Well, if you've got a Magic Key, you've got a photo pass. I don't take advantage of it. I've never had them take one single picture of me. I really should do that, because they take advantage of it, and it's great. They've got all sorts of those ones where they add the things to the picture. You know, you hold your hand out, they put Tinkerbell in your hand. That's pretty cool. But watch the group. You'll see hundreds of Donna Jean's pictures. They're at the park more than I am. They seem to be there Saturday and Sunday every week. So that is cool. Let's see here. And I also yesterday ran into, you can't see him too well, but left to right, and I apologize if I mispronounce the names, Lena Kachikian. Now, I'm sure I messed that up drastically, so I apologize. Aisha Gibson, Alicia Diaz, and Katie Erickson. And I've run into them a couple of times out at the park, and they've got a Disney gang. They come out. They're always very nice. I'll tell you, Aisha makes T-shirts, and you ever see her out there? If you want some kind of custom T-shirt, talk to her, because she's got a heat press, and she makes some really cool shirts. And I'm going to talk to her about making some group shirts, because I'd like to have one that has the logo and says admin, so I could be like official and everything. So expect me to look you up there, Aisha. And if I mispronounced any of these names, grab me when we're at the park and you see me and correct me. Tell me how to pronounce it, and I'll be very pleased. Because, like I say, I do not wish to mispronounce it. Now, one thing I did do while we were there is I gave Lena this Sebastian. I told you that I have some plush Disney, they're real small ones, plush Disney toys, and I'd mainly keep them for the kids, but Lena was so nice, I gave her one. And it was funny, right after they walked away, the Dapper Dan started singing Under the Sea, which I thought was, hey, that's a coinkydink. So that was lots of fun. It's great. doing this group and getting to meet all you great people and everything. That makes it Disneyland twice as much fun. Let me bring one other thing up here, that because I put the pictures here, so by God, I'm going to talk about it. I'm sure most of you are familiar with this. The fuel rods. And these are to charge your phone with. Now, they're not spectacularly good batteries, but you can get maybe a third to a half a charge on your iPhone with one of these. And they've got them in quite a few locations in the park. And if you've got the Disneyland app, it'll show you where they are at. Like California Adventure, Mortimer's Market, just as you come through the gate, there's one there. That is probably the most faulty machine in the park, because it's broken a lot of the time. And if that one is broken, go down to Hollywood Boulevard, make a left turn, and in Gone Hollywood, they've got one in there. And like I say, I don't remember where they're all at. In Disneyland, the locker room on Main Street, they have 2 of them in there. So if you really want one and want to make sure you get one, that's a good place to go to, because they almost always have them because they've got 2 machines. And like I say, but the only lands I think in Disneyland that don't have one are Galaxy's Edge and Toontown. Neither one of those have a machine in them, but I think all the other lands have got one. There's one on the bottom level at Hungry Bear Restaurant. Well, that's closed right now, but I don't know whether it will still be there when they come back. But like I say, right now it's closed. So like I say, these are good. They're good machines. The fuel rod itself, which is that, they cost $30 right now. That's how prices are at Disneyland, but right now they're $30. But they cost nothing to exchange. So once you paid your $30, you're in business. Just go around, keep one of those plugged into your phone. Because, if you take pictures and stuff like I do, which everybody does at Disneyland, you're going to wear your phone out pretty quick. So just keep one of these plugged into your phone, and it'll keep your phone going all day. And when just watch it, when you lose the little lightning bolt off of your phone and it turns from green to white, then you need a new one. And go find one. Put it in there. Make sure you put the barcode to the right when you put it in, up on the top, and then on the bottom, you'll hear one bop out. It is difficult, though, I'll tell you. If you put one in up at the top and it doesn't go down, it's really hard to get it out of that machine. So just be aware of that. And the Disney people will not help you, and they will not give you a refund, because it is not Disney's machine. It is somebody else's machine. Now, there's a phone number you could call, and they will come out, but you'll have to stand there for an hour waiting for them to get there. So just be prepared for that. All right, let's get rid of that. So that I can tell you. But like I said, they work real good. You can charge them at home. And I understand from a group member that you can buy those batteries on Amazon for cheaper, and you can, I haven't looked it up, but I have been told that. And you can exchange the ones you buy on Amazon at Disneyland. Now, I'm surprised that Disneyland allows that, because Disneyland is not making any money from those batteries. So, how long that will continue to happen, I don't know. But like I say, this is not personal knowledge, so don't blame me. Oh, this is one thing I wanted to make sure to talk to you guys about the Disneyland podcast page that I created. Facebook has announced, as of about a week ago, that all of those pages are going to have ads on them. Facebook is going to place ads on those pages. So now we know why Facebook drove all of the podcasts to pages, to help promote their ad sales. So now we have a pretty good idea of what's going on there. Now, I want you to be aware of something. You know, if you've been on Facebook anytime at all, that a great number of the ads on Facebook are really not reputable companies. They're companies that I would not want to do business with. Now, there are a number of good ones. For instance, Printable, that I talked to you about the shirts, I found them through Facebook. But I tested them. That's what I do with any of the companies that make shirts. I buy one, see if I get it, see if it's any good, then I go forward. Because then if I lose something, I lose $30. You know, I'm not going to lose $300 or $400 on 10 shirts that I never got. So it's. I just want you to be aware that once we start streaming the podcast to our page, that I did not check any of those ads that appear on that page. I have no idea whether they're reputable or whether they're out to pick your pocket. I don't know. So just don't, because you know me, don't depend on those ads being okay, because I don't have any idea if they're okay. So that's all I want to make clear, is that we are not endorsing any of those products. If I endorse something, I'll tell you. You know, I'll say, hey, I bought this and it's really good. But, you know, like, let's see, something I endorse. Anker. Anker. They make really good batteries to charge your iPhone. Get one, stick it in your bag. You know, I have a man purse, so I keep one in my man purse, my shoulder bag, and anybody carries a bag with them. It's a good play. They make a small one that's not too heavy, and they really make good ones. I've had them for years. I've had Anker. My webcam that I'm using right here is made by Anker, and it's a really good webcam. Very clear, very good quality. I'm real pleased with it. But not all of their products are good. Their headphones are garbage. They sound good, but the plastic just crumbles. I bought a pair from them. Loved them. Used them for a month or so. And all of a sudden, one morning, I put them on. I hear the snap, and I look, and the whole earpiece had snapped. And I taped it up, and I said, well, you know, things happened. And the one on the other side did the same thing. And it was terrible. They crumbled. So I got a hold of Anchor, and I told them what had happened, and they sent me a new pair. New pair did exactly the same thing. In just about exactly the same amount of time, the new pair crumbled. So I contacted them again. They said, well, sorry, your warranty's up. I said, well, yeah, but I just got these. And they said, well, yeah, but your warranty is on the first pair. So I wasn't very pleased with that. So don't buy any Anchor headphones because they're not any good. Like I say, they sound great, but they've got some kind of real problem with their plastic. So just don't do it. But like I say, all the rest of the stuff, well, the things that I've tried are the webcam and the batteries, and those work great. So those I endorse. So I don't mind endorsing something if I've tried it and it's good. Like shirts, the Roosevelt shirts, RSVLTS. I'm sure if you're into Disney, you're familiar with the Roosevelt shirts. They're great shirts, but they're also $70. So, I mean, that's a lot of money. I have, I think, 11 of them, but that's a lot of money. So I'm not going to have a closet full of those things. I'm probably getting close to 100 shirts right now. Hawaiian, they call this a Hawaiian shirt, even though it really isn't a Hawaiian shirt. It's just a character shirt. But if you have like a whole bunch of images on the shirt all scrambled together, most of the websites call that a Hawaiian shirt. So when you're looking them up, just search under Hawaiian shirts, and then you'll see all of that. And like I say, I'll have to count them because I bought quite a few since the last time. Last time I counted, I had 83, and I'm pretty sure I've bought at least another 10 or 12. So I'm approaching 100 shirts in my closet, and I'm not going to be able to buy too many more because it's pretty full. Because I've got the right side of my closet, I've got jackets and a couple of Halloween costumes and things. And then the left side, I've got all my shirts and my pants that I wear every day to work. So, yep, lots of them shirts in there. As any of you who have seen me at Disneyland know, because you see, although I kind of have a few shirts that I like to wear because they match some of my hats. I've got this really cool purple derby hat. They called it a bowler, is another name for it. And it matches up real good with my purple Mickey Roosevelt shirt. So I like to wear the two of those together. Sometimes I'll wear my bow tie. It just depends on how hot it is. When it's real hot, that bow tie is kind of annoying when it's real hot. I'm looking for a good top hat to wear with my Mad Hatter shirt. So, well, we are approaching the end of the podcast. I made it to an hour without a whole lot of trouble. That is what preparation does for you. Because I actually had something to talk about for this entire podcast. Well, I want to thank all of you, the thousands of you who have joined our group. It just amazes me that many people joined my little group. But I love all you guys. You make my trips to the park just extremely enjoyable. And if it wasn't for you guys, I probably wouldn't be wanting to go twice a week. So you guys all take care. And I'm going to play my slap together theme song on the way out. And just something I wanted to tell you real quick. The reason I'm trying to sly away a little bit from using the name Podketeer, I originally started my audio podcast back in 2007 and called it Podketeer. There was nothing else called that. So we went back. I decided, okay, well, I'm going to use Podketeer because I've got the theme song and everything. So I'm going to use Podketeer. Well, I get on YouTube and somebody, I don't know how long ago, I didn't look back to see, had put one out there called Podketeers with an S. So they essentially stole my name. And they bought the website, Podketeers.com. I have Podketeer.com. And mine is registered with the Creative Commons license. So, but I don't want to hassle with it. It isn't worth the time and trouble. So we're gonna come up with another name. We're kind of thinking of calling it the Keyholders Podcast. So if you have any suggestions for a name, throw them out there. I'll listen. So you guys all take care, and I shall see you next Friday, maybe. Take it easy.
It's time for the Podketeer Podcast.
Good morning, Christopher Robin.
Oh, good morning, Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, well, glad to meet you. Name's Tigger. Keyholder. That spells Tigger.
Now, isn't this a clever disguise?
It's time for the Podketeer Podcast with your hosts, Mark Tanner and Melody Clark.
This could be about anything. And if you're like me, you'll wait and see. For I've got curiosity.